Hey everyone, welcome to our top 10 list, and here is my top 10 personal favorite Matt Damon movies. Yes, I love a lot of actors, and Matt Damon, yes, Matt Damon is one of my favorite actors, and I thought, let's do a top 10 of my personal favorite Matt Damon movies. And again, this is just a personal favorite, of mine, so yeah, these are not the best Matt Damon movies, these are just my personal favorite Matt Damon movies. So yeah, let's get to it, shall we? And of course, before our top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. And here's my honorable mentions for Matt Damon movies. Those honorable mentions are Spirit, Saving Private Ryan, The Informant, School Ties, Courage Under Fire, Serena, and We Bought a Zoo. Great movies, just couldn't make the top 10. But what did make my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is Elysium. Elysium is written and directed by Neil Blomkamp, and Neil Blomkamp is a very mixed bag with me. Like, I like District 9, I hate the movie Chappie, but I love Elysium. Elysium is actually my favorite Neil Blomkamp movie. I know a lot of people love District 9. It's good, but not amazing. I like Elysium, and I love Matt Damon in it. And yeah, Charlito Copley is great in the movie. All of the supporting casts, they're fine. I love the visual effects. I love the story. I love the message the movie is trying to send. And the only person I don't like in the movie is Jodie Foster, but this is Matt Damon. Matt Damon carries most of this movie, and he's fantastic in this movie. There's some great action. There's some really good truthfulness to this movie, and yeah, who knows, our world might end up like this, and it's a great movie, it's got a great ending, it's got a great structure, it's well executed. Matt Damon is so good in the movie, and it's just a well-directed movie and a very good movie. One of my favorite Matt Damon performances, and yeah, it made my number 10 spot, Elysium. Coming number 9 is Contagion. Yes, Steven Soderbergh's Contagion. This has a stellar cast in this movie. Not only Matt Damon is in this movie, but Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, Lawrence Fishburne, Kate Winslet, and Marion Cotillard, and they're all great in this movie. This is a sickness movie, a disease sort of movie, like Outbreak and shit. Outbreak's a great movie too, but Contagion is a great movie. It's about this virus that's spreading around the world, and you don't know what it is. You don't know what is causing this. You don't know what started it. Yeah, it started with Gwyneth Paltrow, but how did she get it and everything? It all starts with a simple cough and everything, then it just progresses. And Matt Damon in the movie has an immunity to it, him and his daughter, so he has to quarantine himself, and they don't know why he has this immunity and everything. It's basically a survival movie, a survival for the sickness, and it's a great movie. I like movies like this, like Outbreak and Contagion, but Contagion's a better movie. It's one of my favorite movies about sicknesses and diseases spreading around the world. It's almost like a disaster movie, but just better. You don't need a bunch of flashy effects like Day After Tomorrow. It's more realistic and more fearful because it's a disease. This shit happens around the world, and it's a very well done movie. I love Matt Damon in the movie. I think he's very good. I think he gives one of the best performances. Him and Kate Winslet probably give the best performances in the movie, and they're like my favorite characters in the movie. Contagion, great movie. If you've not seen it, check it out. It's great. Steven Soderbergh did a phenomenal job directing it. Matt Damon's great in it, and it's one of my favorite Matt Damon movies. Coming number 8 is The Rainmaker. Matt Damon, Danny DeVito, phenomenal movie. This is a great character study of a movie, and it's a fantastically directed film. The writing, direction, structure, and execution make this movie fantastic. It's a breathtaking story. It's just a great movie to watch if you're just a Matt Damon fan or a Danny DeVito fan. It's got very truthful with its story. It's very realistic. It can be dark at times, but all in all, it's a very well-written and very powerful film. And it's one of my favorite Matt Damon movies, and yeah, Rainmaker, great movie. Coming number 7 is the Bourne Trilogy. Yes, Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, and Bourne Ultimatum. I do have a ranking for these. I don't like them all perfectly the same, but I just put them all as a tie because, they're the Bourne Trilogy. Let's just say the Bourne Trilogy. I love the Bourne Trilogy. I think Matt Damon is fantastic as Jason Bourne. I don't think anyone else can play Jason Bourne. They tried it without Matt Damon, with Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner's a great actor, but he's no Matt Damon. Matt Damon made this movie, made this character, and it's just a great franchise. I can't wait to see Matt Damon return as Jason Bourne in that other Bourne movie that's supposed to be coming out this year. Can't wait for it. Sounds awesome, and the Bourne movies are great. Bourne Identity is Simon did a phenomenal job directing it, and the movies are just well-crafted action, and they use the shaky cam as a style. It's not a gimmick, it's a style. Supremacy may be the weaker of the Bourne Trilogy, but it's still a great film. Bourne Ultimatum is obviously my favorite. Paul Greengrass did a fantastic job. It's got great film, great action, great characters, and the Bourne franchise, they're just a great action franchise, and can't wait for the next one. Awesome. Matt Damon, it's fantastic. Coming number 6 is Dogma. Yes, whose house? Run's house. Yes, I love Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith's movies are all great. Well, most are great, but Dogma is one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies, next with Clerks and Chasing Amy. Dogma is a great one. Matt Damon plays an angel in this movie called Loki with his best pal Ben Affleck as Bartleby, and it's a great movie about religion and everything. It kind of pokes fun at religion, but all at the same time being a religious movie and stuff. I love these two characters. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon play these two angels, Bartleby and Loki, and they make this movie great. Them two are fantastic. The performances by both of them, it's just so good. I love them two together, and they're basically killing people and basically trying to get their way back up to heaven and everything. You don't know whether to root for them or hate them, but it's kind of both. You hate them and love them. Matt Damon steals this entire movie. I think he gives the best performance in this movie. My all-time favorite scene in this movie is when they go into the Mooby's restaurant, and basically Matt Damon shows their sins to all of them and basically kills all of them. And it's a great scene. It's one of my favorite scenes. It involves voodoo and everything. It's a great scene, one of my favorite scenes. Matt Damon is fantastic in that movie, and I love the movie in general. I love its comedy. It's very dark comedy. It's very controversial because it's about religion, and it pokes fun a little bit at religion. But it's Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith's great, and I love Matt Damon in this movie. And Dogma, of course, is one of my favorite Matt Damon movies. Coming number 5 is True Grit. Yes, again, this is not a starring role for Matt Damon, but Matt Damon's still fantastic in this movie. This movie stars Josh Brolin, Jeff Bridges, Haley Steinfeld, and of course Matt Damon himself. And Matt Damon plays LaBouffe. He's like an officer. He's a good guy. He's basically there to keep Rooster Cogburn in check, because Rooster Cogburn, played by Jeff Bridges, is kind of like a rogue. He's a good guy, but he'll shoot anyone if he has to, and that's like a true cowboy, like a John Wayne cowboy. He's remaking of a John Wayne character, and I love the movie True Grit. It's the friggin' Coen brothers. Anytime the Coen brothers touch something, especially if it's a Western, it's gonna be friggin' gold, and this movie's fantastic, and Matt Damon really holds his own in this movie, because a lot of people think Haley Steinfeld and Jeff Bridges and Josh Brolin stole the movie, but I think Matt Damon was just as good as Jeff Bridges. I thought Jeff Bridges was great, but I really loved Matt Damon as LaBouffe. I thought he was a great character, a very likable character, and a very interesting character. You want to know a lot more about LaBouffe, and they don't really give you it, but he's a very fascinating character, a very charming and likable character, and he can be badass when he has to, and he's just a great character. I really like him, and I really like him in this movie, and I like all the people in this movie. I think this movie is a brilliantly written and brilliantly directed film. It's got great action when it needs to be. It's very dark. It's very bleak. It's much darker than the original True Grit. The original 1969 True Grit with John Wayne is a much more lighthearted movie, even though it is a story about revenge. This one is much darker, much bleaker, and you'll find out why when you watch the ending of this movie. The ending of this movie is very dark and very bleak, and not very pleasant, but still a great movie. Matt Damon's amazing as LaBouffe, and this movie in general is an amazing movie. Coen brothers, they don't do anything wrong. Well, except the lady killers, but True Grit's awesome. Coming number 4 is Ocean's 11. Ocean's 11, again, a big stellar cast. Matt Damon does a lot of these movies that have these big stellar casts, and this one has a big one too. It's got George Clooney, Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, Bernie Mac, Casey Affleck, Julia Roberts, Andy Garcia. It's got loads of cast members, and they're all great in this movie. Oceans 12 and 13 aren't terrible, but they're not particularly great. Ocean's 11 is the best one. Again, another Steven Soderbergh movie. It's a great crime movie, great crime dramatic comedy. I love the big heist in this movie. I love what they're trying to do. I love how they pull it off. And I do love Matt Damon as the character Minus. He's a great character. George Clooney, Matt Damon, and Brad Pitt both steal this movie. Julia Roberts was a little underused, but she was still good. Everyone was great in this movie. I loved this entire, last half of the movie is the entire heist. And basically the first half is them planning it and establishing characters. And all these characters are really good and very fascinating characters. And I love this movie. It's one of my favorite Steven Soderbergh movies, and it's one of my favorite Matt Damon movies. It's also one of my favorite George Clooney movies. It was on my top 10 George Clooney movie list. But yeah, it's Matt Damon, and I love Matt Damon in this movie, and I love this movie in general. Ocean's 11, awesome. And better than the original. Coming number 3 is The Departed. The Departed, y'all. Martin Scorsese's The Departed, also a remake of a Japanese movie. Ocean's 11 is not a remake of a Japanese movie, by the way. It's a remake of an older classic movie that actually wasn't that good. This is a remake of a Japanese crime movie that actually was good, but The Departed ended up being better. This is Scorsese, and finally Scorsese got his Best Director win for this movie, and I love this movie. Another stellar cast. Matt Damon just does a lot of great movies. Mark Wahlberg, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, Alec Baldwin, Anthony Anderson, Vera Farmiga, Ray Winstone, all fantastic. Matt Damon really holds his own in this movie. Even though I think Leo and Mark Wahlberg stole the movie, I really liked Matt Damon because Matt Damon kind of plays like a prick in this movie. Matt Damon doesn't usually play villains in movies, but he did in this one. He did a great job. He was a conniving little bastard in this movie. And he was great. He was great. Every scene, he held his own with all these big actors, and I really liked him in this movie. I don't want to spoil it, but I think everyone's seen this movie. It's a great movie. It's a long movie, but it's a Scorsese movie. It's a great crime movie. It's a great cop movie. It's a great mob movie. It's just a great movie in general. It's got phenomenal writing, fantastic direction, stellar performances, a phenomenal ending, another very bleak ending, but it's such a perfect ending to the story. And I love these characters. I love these performances. I love how this movie is told and crafted. The Departed is a fantastic movie, one of the best Scorsese movies, and one of the best Matt Damon movies. Coming number 2 is The Martian. Yes, this year's The Martian, one of my favorite movies of the year, one of the best Matt Damon movies. Another stellar, I'm going to just keep saying that, another stellar cast, because that's just what Matt Damon does. Matt Damon's not the only one who kills it in this movie, but Jessica Chastain, Kate Mara, Sebastian Stan, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Donald Glover, Jeff Daniels, Kristen Wiig, all of them are fantastic. Michael Pena, all great, and this movie is written by Drew Goddard, who did Daredevil, this year's TV show Daredevil. It's directed by Ridley Scott, come on, Blade Runner, Alien, Gladiator, Thelma and Louise. This movie is fantastic. It's visually stunning. It's got amazing cinematography. It's got a great story. Yes, it's Apollo 13 meets Castaway, but again, like I said, it's got the comedy of a Joss Whedon movie by Drew Goddard, so you kind of figure it had a lot of comedy. And the comedy in this movie is so funny. Matt Damon makes this movie so freaking hysterical. I love the character Matt Damon plays in this movie. He's great. His performance is fantastic. I hope he gets an Oscar nomination. I hope he gets the Golden Globe win. And I hope he gets an Oscar nomination. I love The Martian. It's a fantastic movie. I've seen this movie twice already. Can't wait to buy the Blu-ray. And it's my second favorite Matt Damon movie. And say it with me again, Mars will come to fear my botany powers. And my number 1 favorite Matt Damon movie is, no shocker whatsoever, Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting is written by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they won their Oscar for original screenplay, which is no shocker. It's fantastic. He got his first Oscar nomination for acting. He's fantastic. Rob Williams is amazing in this movie. So good. He got supporting actor win, finally. He's fantastic. I love this movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's amazing. Gus Van Sant directed the movie flawlessly. It's beautifully written, and all these actors are really good. Minnie Driver's great. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Robin Williams, Casey Affleck, Stellan Skarsgård. They're all phenomenal in this movie. You all know the story. Matt Damon plays a janitor. He's a gifted-minded person, and basically Stellan Skarsgård, who's a professor at Harvard, he wants Matt Damon to have a better life, but he's defensive, and he knows he's not mentally well. So he goes to see a therapist, played by Robin Williams, and this therapist is trying to unlock what's really bothering him, why he doesn't want to achieve his goals, and do something better with his life. And it's a great coming-of-age story, and it's also a great movie, a great dramatic movie about school and math, and, just about people in general, and, it's also all about class and everything, and it's a phenomenal movie. The writing is top freaking notch. And so many scenes in this movie are just amazing, iconic scenes. Like the scene at the pond when Robin Williams is talking to Matt Damon. The "It's Not Your Fault" scene. And the scene with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon when they're talking about the future and stuff. And there's a lot of great scenes in this movie. And the acting is absolutely top notch. And this is one of my all-time favorite movies. It's one of the greatest Gus Van Sant movies, it's one of the best Matt Damon movies, and it's just one of the best movies ever. It's one of my all-time favorites, and it's my favorite Matt Damon movie. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite Matt Damon movies. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this list? And if not, give me your top 10 favorite Matt Damon movies. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.